So now we're going to go into level 2 and see where we are here. Now this is the same AI we had last time, nothing has changed. And the first thing you can see is that the enemy is also using 8 of the same assaults that we are. Each of the bots kind of specializes in a certain thing, and assaults are kind of good in most situations, but are especially good at applying aggressive pressure to the enemy. As you can see here, though, we have an L-shaped pinch on our bottom segment, and that's going to be a pretty big problem for us. We don't want to get pinched like this because now you can see basically the enemy has created a 6 versus 4 down here, and we've still got a 4 versus 1, and we managed to get the first kill, but you're going to see the enemy is going to grab all of these kills down here very quickly, and then they're going to snowball. And so, why is that? And the reason is they do the same amount of damage per shot, but their accuracy, as range increases, their accuracy decreases. So if they're in this inner circle, you have a 95% chance to hit with each bullet. At medium range, they have a 55% chance to hit, and at long range, they have a 15% chance to hit. So at medium range, you do almost 4 times the DPS because you hit more often. And that's what the enemy is doing. You'll notice that he is firing at medium range against the bots here. So we want to take advantage of that ourselves because we're using assaults, and assaults are, by their very nature, very good at closing distances because they're relatively fast, and they have fairly good DPS stats when they're in medium range compared to when they're in long range. So if we change our not out of range node, the way I did here, to short or medium range, that'll cause our bots to ignore enemies that are farther away than that. So let's see how that holds up. And right off the bat, you can see we're closing in much closer. We would have been firing quite some time ago already with the old attack. And now you can see our bots are going back and forth, trying to keep in the battle. But one of the things we're doing here is we're spreading out our damage. You'll notice several of the enemy bots here were low on health, and it looks like we're actually going to still clean up though. But one thing, I would like to note that we did spread a lot of damage out, and so we may have to correct that. This is kind of a very unclean win, but I think I'll take it. However, I do think we are still going to improve our attack before we move on. And there it is. So we did win, but we lost 3 bots in the process. Let's see if we can't do better, right? So this is our attack node here. Now there's a few different ways we can go about this, but what I think I want to do is just attack, instead of the closest enemy, since we're already attacking enemies that are fairly close, let's look at enemies that have the weakest shield instead. And weakest shield percentage is also a pretty good one, but I think we're just going to go with weakest shield. And we'll see how that goes. And hopefully what we'll see now is, instead of several bots up in the top here taking damage relatively evenly, I'm hoping we'll see one enemy bot kind of get dogpiled by our bots. And you can see here they're focusing fire much more effectively. It's still not perfect, but that's a range issue. And there's things we can do to address that, but I think that's outside the scope of this as well. And now you can see before his bots in the bottom even really arrived on the field, we had already killed half of his team. And we're still holding up pretty well. And there it is, 8-0, much better. So I'm willing to call that the end of stage 2. I hope you enjoyed, and join me in the third one.